that makes a difference in the world. So for me, I think it's the greatest tool and the most enjoyable to work in as somebody who's a lover of freedom.
Earlier today, we heard Mr. Griffin talk about the creed of freedom, and I just want to kind of tie in what we're talking about now to point number 5, which is money without coercion. It says, I believe in freedom to accept or reject any currency or other forms of money based entirely upon my personal judgment of its value, because a monopoly over the issuance of money and the power to force others to accept it leads to corruption, inflation, and legalized plunder. And that's what cryptocurrency changes.
Yeah, I mean, money is a very profound thing. It's very deep in society. There's a lot of talk about Facebook coin. We're going to be talking about it in a little bit. At what point does a telecommunications network, which with a currency, become a government, right? And they had a court system in the middle, and now we have a digital government that spans all over the world. I think money is very profound, and it's very important for us to be able to hold ground and bypass inflation and other, sketchy financial policy, and that's what Bitcoin's all about.
I think for me, when I went to Venezuela and I pay everything with crypto on a daily basis, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and I saw that this system really works. It's not just theory anymore. It's not just a white paper you read and there's the possibility. Over there's hundreds of businesses that accept crypto right away. And use it on a daily basis, I'm like, wow, this doesn't go through any government or any bank, and it works. So for me, it was actually a no turning back point.
Yeah, I've also been using crypto as money since 5 years at least. Paid developers all across the world. You don't have to worry about bank hours or sending money on the weekends or any of these types of things. No, you can send over $10,000 without being questioned. So a big part of what I like to do even as an entrepreneur is try to make crypto more favorable as a money versus fiat as well.
Yeah, I think this leads into a really interesting question, because what these guys are talking about is pure unadulterated freedom leveraging cryptocurrencies. My God, who doesn't want that? I'm sure everyone in this room wants. By show of hands, who wants freedom? Jesus Christ! So my thought is this: there's been a lot of bureaucrats and politicians and seemingly smarmy people who are out there wanting to say that maybe cryptocurrency is not a good thing. Maybe it needs to be regulated out of existence. Because if these guys are talking about freedom, these other guys are talking about, no, maybe we need some controls. So I'm curious, all you guys have unique perspectives on this, Tron being a developer, you guys owning businesses, multiple businesses. So what's your perspective on this as developers, business owners, and being embedded in this space for so long?
Oh, I hate politicians, but they, it's just so annoying, because they just keep talking, all these regulations, all these regulators, and then what are they talking about? I can't just imagine that all this money is being spent on all these people to meet in a room and just discuss these things all the time. It just doesn't make any sense to me, especially when you have better things out there like cryptocurrency. Right now, I think we're still in this speculative stage. So we see a lot of volatility. So sometimes, it is hard, but there are financial products coming out, even decentralized financial products that are helping, maybe stabilize cryptocurrencies if you don't want to participate in the speculation. So I just don't understand, all the politics and the politicians that are trying to regulate and all this. It doesn't make any sense to me. And it's unstoppable. So why even try?
I think this past week was the best example that it took Bitcoin 10 years, and we had the President of the United States tweeting about Bitcoin. That's how fast things are moving. I don't think nobody realized that, when they start all this in 2008, 2009, the early beginners, that only 10 years later, you have the president of the most powerful nation saying that he doesn't like it, but it doesn't really matter, his opinion, against Bitcoin, which is great.
I think it's fascinating. We're going to definitely see some conflict between, I think, Facebook coin and Congress, the American government, and other governments, because they don't like competition, and Facebook has the power to become a 2 billion people digital government of sorts, right? How many people are on Facebook? Maybe they'll die, maybe they'll lose their network effect. But I'm happy to see that conflict and watch from the sides, It's Napoleon quote, I think, if your enemies are, making a mistake, don't interrupt them, right? So.
So I think there were some early attempts at digital money that were shut down early on. I think on January 3rd of 2009, Bitcoin started up. Its real innovation was this idea of distributing the checking of the double spend, which was the hard part of digital money, to distribute that worldwide of just people running regular computers, and that kind of changed things. So it's something you can't really stop. It's just people running computers, and that's it. There is no Bitcoin company that runs this network.
I think this is a super important question, and I think that as we saw this week, when we saw these Congress people, when we saw the president, I'm going to try to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they just don't understand what Bitcoin is. Because if you do understand what Bitcoin is, then to say that you're going to somehow stop it is to say that you're going to stop people from communicating with each other freely. You're going to stop people from being able to do advanced math. And you're going to stop people from being able to value something in whatever way they value it. So, I mean, we're talking about freedom of association, freedom of speech. If we're not allowed to do math, we're in a much more maybe tenuous situation than we even believe that we're in. But I think that this is a very good signal. Like I say, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. But anybody who says that they understand Bitcoin and then are saying that they're going to regulate it or stop people from being able to use it, that's what they're really saying to you.
Yeah, very, very nice point, gentlemen. And I'll add to this. There's